the map pool wasn't in a good spot. And yeah, you lose that BO1, you play against 9 and you are playing on their best maps and have a lot of confidence. We've probably been a little bit shaky losing maps with the RMR or losing too big. Yeah, tournament was really short.
Hi MOUZ fans, we are here in Paris, one day before the last CSGO major, and today I have a very special guest. It's our head coach, Dennis Sycrone. Hello.
Hello.
How are you feeling?
I'm great.
Yeah.
Yeah, excited to play here. We just had a 10-day boot camp. Things are good.
When did you travel here?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. And how was it? How was the travel?
Easy travel. We had a 2-hour flight from Serbia and arrived late last night. The guys set up, played a bit of DM. It was okay.
Maybe you can give some context why you were flying from Serbia.
Yeah, we flew from Serbia because we decided to have a 10-day boot camp at Relog Media. Yeah, so we were all together for the last many days and traveled yesterday evening.
This podcast is recorded with a new headset from Razer. It's a Razer BlackShark V2 Pro. I know you have been a very big fan, or asking me constantly, when is the wireless one coming out? When is it coming out? So what's your first impression of this new headset?
First of all, the design is very sleek. I like the white design. Yeah, feels super comfortable on your head. In my time, I've had many different headsets. Now, obviously, it's not gonna be a long session, but I think even if you played 8 hours with this headset on, you wouldn't feel it. Microphone quality is also super good. I can only hear you right now through a call, and it's really good.
Yeah, and the microphone itself, I mean, that's like the biggest thing they changed. It's very good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you need it like wireless because like during the pracs or scrims you can like walk behind them and still listen to them, or what's the benefit of wireless for you?
Yeah, I think there's many good benefits to wireless. But let's say we're boot camping in Serbia. The guys are playing. I'm sitting at my PC. If it's wireless, I can just walk behind them, and it's just like we're playing events, and I can hear them communicating. I can still talk to them while walking around. I don't have to be in front of the PC, which is nice.
Yeah, that's very cool. So obviously there's a big elephant in the room, right? There's the last CSGO major. The RMR, it's been a while now, I think, like 3 or 4 weeks, roughly. So let's start with the RMR. It wasn't as smooth as we would probably expect. Can you maybe touch on the RMR, how the tournament went in Copenhagen, in your home country as well, right?
Yeah.
And how it affected the team.
Yeah. So I don't think we necessarily expected an easy RMR. As we saw also the previous ones, we really had to fight for it towards the end. This time around was no different. First day is brutal. You play these 2 BO1s. You might end 1-1, 2-0, 0-2. You don't really know. You don't know your next opponent, so it's tough to prepare and have really good preparation. We found ourselves quite early in the 1-2 bracket. Had to play VP and then later on FaZe, so we had to beat the last 2 previous major winners to even make it here. But we were confident we were going to get it done in the end, but it wasn't easy, I would say. Yeah, I mean, maybe if you watch the vlog from how that tournament go, you can get some more insight into that. But super tough, super tight. The guys were really pushing it towards the end. I think especially the attitude the guys showed was good. It was what I was looking for from a coaching aspect. And we're taking that with us into this tournament.
Yeah. What do you think was like the biggest adjustment you might have made during the tournament that kind of changed the team?
As I said, the attitude thing changed a lot. We had this feeling that some of the teams we were playing against wanted to win more than us. They were always shouting more, screaming more, and they were just always going for the duels, and they had full confidence in whatever they did, and sometimes just what you need in Counter-Strike. So we made a mental adjustment in that sense, and then leading into this tournament, we're still focusing on that, but we put way more work into the map pool because that's really where we lacked. We ended up playing Ancient a bunch of times, showed a lot of our playbook and material on that map, didn't really play that well on other maps, so that was something that needed a lot of work.
I mean, obviously we were the only tier one team that struggled during the RMR system, right? And or the Buchholz system. And for the major now, the first two stages is also Buchholz. And how confident are you us going in now with the right attitude?
Uh, always super confident. Practice was really good in Serbia. I think we made a ton of progress lately. Yeah, super confident about that, and it's just about putting it together on the server now and enjoying the
Mm,
games ahead of us.
yeah. I mean, maybe you saw it on social, but like after the Virtus Pro game and also the Face game, I think there was a lot of hype with the MOUZ fans because of the way we played, not necessarily us just beating those teams, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, and then we will go to Rio, right after the RMR, and I feel like the outcome wasn't what we wanted and expected. What happened in Rio?
Yeah, Rio wasn't great. Um, I think this time around it was more the case that the map pool wasn't in a good spot. We had to play just Vitovice against nine some of their best maps. Vertigo, Nuke. If you look at statistics there, they're incredible. I mean, we knew the maps would go to those points, but we also felt good. They still won. In the big game, you were playing against them. Super difficult opponent when they have everything. I mean, they have nothing to lose at this point. They didn't make the major.
Mm,
They're trying to put all their eggs in this one basket, and you don't really know where they're at. And yeah, you lose that BO1. You play against nine, and you are playing on their best maps and have a lot of confidence. We've probably been a little bit shaky losing maps to the RMR or losing to big. Um, yeah, tournament was really short. And what we got out of Rio was a lot of good team talks after because we had a few days to come up with a plan for the major, to talk out things within the players, within the team, which was very fruitful. The tournament itself, not so much, but all the talks that came after were good.
yeah, I think you were there for like 3 or 4 days more.
Yeah.
So it's not the worst country, right, to be stuck in, kinda. Um, did you guys use it for like to? Obviously, you said already team talks, but also like maybe to relax, enjoy the sun a bit, and just cool down a bit after the RMR stress.
Yeah, I mean, just the hotel area we're in is quite nice already, so you don't really have to go somewhere special. There's a
Yeah.
pool right in front of the hotel, and there's a beach right in front of that as well, so you can go to wherever place and hang out. There's good food options around. Just sitting on your hotel balcony is quite nice. So we just took advantage of these spots, enjoyed the nature, enjoyed the warmth, sat around, maybe had a few drinks at the pool, went into the pool.
Mm,
We didn't really go out this time actually.
mm. And then after Rio, you guys took some days off, and then you started to go to Serbia, as you already mentioned, for the boot camp.
Yeah.
What was the plan going into the boot camp for the team?
Yeah. So originally we had a talk that tournament schedule was quite tense for us, and perhaps we wanted to rather do either an online sort of boot camp where we just practice from home because people didn't have much time at home and were maybe a little burnt out. Um, and then we just wanted to re-energize because the major format, at least with us being in the first stage, is that you have to play maybe 3 weeks, which can be very tough and challenging. Um, Obviously, Rio didn't go well, and also us struggling at the RMR. We came to the conclusion that we should reevaluate our thoughts about doing a boot camp. And what we ended up agreeing on is that we would do this 9-10 day boot camp, but we would have all the days after Rio until the boot camp off. So people had 4 or 5 days at home where we did not practice, we didn't do anything. I mean, I met up with Chris a few times, who was preparing some strategies and different things for the maps that we want to put extra work into for boot camp. I had a few talks with the players individually. Um, this is a bit more detail than what I want to go into here, but a few of these things online, and then into the boot camp, and we just practiced a lot. We had also an off day at boot camp, a few different things that were not just practice orientated, but yeah, that's how we
Yeah.
came to the boot camp.
Yeah, I already talked with the guys. It kind of feels similar to before Rio, right? We
Yeah,
went to Rotterdam, we want to win the tournament back then, and then we lost against outsiders, and then we also kind of like maybe we should do a boot camp or not. So it kind of feels similar to me right now, like the situation before Rio, and Rio wasn't the worst outcome.
Yeah.
Maybe what's different for you, maybe because Rio was also your first major, right? As a coach. Um, is it different now to go to like your second major?
Um, yeah, maybe it's a bit different. I think the team has matured more in how we approach practice, the way we play out rounds. I think you're gonna see a more mature team on the server that's still very explosive, but finds the right times to be disciplined and collected, which will come in key in the very important rounds where it gets very tense. I think that's one of the main differences I see.
Mm.
Also, some of the relationships between the players and bonds are more established now. So the guys that are very good friends and tied together are also trying to connect with the ones that are a little bit outside their circle. Those two things, outside and inside the server.
Mm. I also saw that at the bootcamp server there were also other teams who are attending major, right? I think OG was there in G2.
And
Uh,
pain.
I think. Does it give any benefits to be like with other esports teams that are competing in the same tournament?
I'm not sure there's too much benefit to it. I mean, early mornings during breaks and in the evenings, you would have talks with the other guys. You'd say hi. Maybe you would sit down and order some food. And at times, you were really smart and clever. You could try and poke and ask good questions about how they're structurizing their practice. What are they working on? What's their focus points? And maybe you can learn a thing or two. Maybe that's an advantage. But yeah, I mean, seeing them also put in hard work is also a motivating factor.
But I mean, if you like booking pracs or stuff like that, do you like look at those teams more often because they're in the same facility and maybe you can exchange one or two things, or is that not the case at all?
No, you wouldn't exchange for some practice necessarily. We did practice against G2 a few times, but it's not like we went out of our way to set up something. G2 had sort of their schedule, Pain as well, but both Pain and OG played this online Brassy tournament, so they had many days where they focused on that, and only just a few practice days.
We hired a new analyst for both CS teams. Can you maybe introduce to the fans who he is, what he does, and what he's gonna do for us at the major?
Sure. So recently we hired Jonas. His in-game name is Netrick. Maybe some players or people out there know him. He's Danish, just like Tobias and I. Someone that I competed against some years ago when I was playing in Denmark. He's played in various top 5, 10 teams in Denmark. If you know the Danish scene, you know even at that level, it's really good. He has on the side a full-time job, so he's part-time with us for now, and we're kind of seeing how things work out. His job is mostly to be an analyst for the main team, but he will also at times join the academy team for practice, join the main team for practice, get a kind of an idea of how we're playing, how do we approach the game, and be sort of a bridge at times between the two teams. There's going to be a few different tasks and assignments. Mostly it's going to be being with the main team in practice when he has the time, looking at our game, having an extra set of eyes and input there, and then for game days and match days, officials, he's gonna help in the preparation that we make. And that's also something he will do here at the major. I will say though that since it's so new, what Tobias and I have agreed on is that we will slowly get him into things and up to speed. So I will give him a few tasks, maybe a few maps here and there to work on, and I will also look at those maps and just make sure that his work is good, right? And we'll try kind of test it out so that for the next season that rolls along, he's at a really good spot already. We tested it. He's tried the different tools we use. He's understanding how we like to play and how we like to do in preparation and all this. I think it's too early to rely fully on the things he's gonna bring, but it's also a good spot to test out how is it when it gets really intense here, when we do a lot of preparation and all this.
I mean, obviously, for this tournament, we don't know who we play, right? We just know our first opponent, an IP. So I feel like he could be a lot of help, right? If we're going to the second match, to the third match, to the fourth match. I think what fans are curious about is, as a team, as a head coach, do you just prepare for your first opponent, or do you also look at all the other teams in the pool?
Okay, so in terms of preparation, I think every tournament is different because every tournament has its own format. For the majors, there is a lot of teams you can play against, and I already tried to look at who could we play against if these guys win, but at this moment it's too many teams to really prepare for the other guys. So overall, we just want to prepare for the chance that we play many teams. So it's more about improving the map pool, making sure all the roles, everyone's comfortable in all the maps, the team chemistry is good, because we need to be ready to play anything and anyone. That's the first objective. Second objective is obviously preparing for the specific opponent. Right now, that's NIP. You can also bet all your money that they've done a similar thing, prepared for whatever style, whatever map, done a lot of improvements, and probably going to play a different style than what you will see if you go back and look at the previous games. There's going to be some crossovers, and these are the things that we will try to look at and bring to the game prep. As you mentioned, Netric could be a good asset to BS as well for the teams that we play later. It's this way at the major that we play. Tomorrow we'll play at 16, and then we will play another BO1 later in that day, and we don't know who yet. But there's a chance that I'm stuck at the venue, I'm stuck in traffic, internet connection over there is bad, I'm on the laptop, and then from home I have both Tobias and Netric, or Tobias and Jonas, who can do a little look for me. And this is where they'll be really helpful.
I mean, also they can look already at the other games as well, right? While we are like traveling to the studio and you preparing for the match, they can obviously watch the other games as well.
Yeah.
So if the camera is a MOUZ fan, what would you tell him what he can expect from the major, from this MOUZ team?
I think you can expect that this MOUZ team is going to give everything. I think the last CSGO major deserves it. Also, our last major run shows that we have what it takes to go far in these types of tournaments. You will see a much more improved MOUZ with a deeper map pool, stronger connections, and just a team that's really fired up to win.
Then thank you for your time. I mean, it's one day before the major, so we don't want to take too much time of your preparation. Oh, it was a bit of fun for you to sit here and talk about this. And yeah, thanks for watching. Like it, subscribe, let us know in the comments what else you want to see.